so much of our process has been inspired, and I would wake up in the middle of the night and have to write really fast. I have to add this too, and I have to add this too. And in a matter of 3 months, me and my editor put together the curriculum for Soup School. So I remember a cold, rainy day in April and just sitting in my office and saying to myself, who are the big players who make it possible for me to run a really busy, fun-filled, well-loved on practice without having staff? Who do I need to bring into this school that I'm creating online to teach and to give the women that I want to cater to, that I want to share with, the systems and strategies to really crush their practice experience, even though the world is spinning around us? And I looked around my office, I figured out what programs I want to get involved with this, and I called them and they jumped, and they were really excited about what I was doing, because really nobody is doing what we're doing in Soup School. So I'm just going to take a minute and go through our webinar. You should be able to see my screen here. Not my webinar, I'm sorry. I'm going to take a minute and go through who our content partners are and how they show up in Soup School. Soup School is an automated finishing school of sorts for women in practice who either don't have staff or are looking to automate the systems in their office. It's not just for the staffless practitioner. It's also for if you have 2 or 3 part-time people or 1 full-time person running your office and they need to automate their systems as well. Soup School is where they go to learn how to do that. And these, you can see my screen right now, these are the partners that show up in school to teach. And for example, Attractwell, we had a whole conversation about how wonderful they are this morning. Coach Ashley shows up in Attractwell and teaches you how to create a click funnel and how to use that click funnel with an online webinar that you do and share it with your community, and how to take your community members and all of their contact information and nourish them with email campaigns on a regular basis. All of that happens through Attractwell with Coach Ashley in Soup School. We also have Chiro Health USA. If you don't know about Chiro Health USA, they make it legal for us to say to a practice member, you're not using your insurance in my office, I'm going to give you a discount because I love you and I want you to be able to afford my care. That's not legal to do in most places. With Chiro Health USA, they bring in the systems to teach us how to make it so that we can put our head on the pillow at night and know that we followed all of the rules that we need to follow. The mission-driven chiropractor, talking about rules, Dr. Robin Hale shows up all throughout Soup School, and we call it Robin's Rules. It's really quite adorable. And she teaches things like compliance with marketing, compliance with emails, compliance with texting, compliance with phone calls, compliance with, and when I say compliance, I mean, what are we allowed to do and what are we not allowed to do? These are not things that I learned in school. And I learned so much from Robin, probably more from Robin than all of the other content partners with all things in my practice. She blew me away with the content that she provided for Soup School. Zingle is our texting program. So we do have a HIPAA compliant texting program that partnered with us in Zingle, and they teach us how to use their program to get as many messages out to our people without spamming them, to make our life so much easier. Clinic sites, let's just go to Jane for a second. The Jane app is the software program that I use in my practice that makes it possible for me to be a one-woman show. All of the systems that they have in Jane app make it, it's fun, it's adorable, it's user-friendly, it's affordable, and their team is second to none. So Jane app is the software program for the practice management system. And then Jane app also allowed me to share all of our templates with our Soup students. So if you're a Jane app user and you want your health history forms, you want your exam forms, whatever it is that you're looking for within Jane, you can search in a section of Jane for all of those forms if you're a Soup School member, and just download the health history forms to put to send out to your practice members. So that's Jane. And then Clinic Sites is a partner of Jane, where if you're a Jane user, All you have to do is get your program set up in Jane, and Clinic Site sees everything that Jane has set up for your practice, and they create an instant website for you. And their price is unbelievably cheap. It's something like $20 or $30 a month. So John from Clinic Sites comes into Soup School and teaches us how to have an online presence and really affect people with a website that counts. Optimal Health Coaching, if you guys don't know Russ Rosen, I can't say enough of him. He is one of my favorite people. This past week, we did a Art of Certainty presentation in this group. Go ahead to the unit section to get a copy of it. It was so, so good. So he teaches in school. He offers crazy value to the Soup School content. Chiropractic social media marketing. So Terry from Chiropractic Social Media Marketing comes into school and teaches us how to have a presence on Facebook without A, looking like a fool, right? B, the difference between a Facebook group and a Facebook page for your practice. Like, how do you know which one is necessary for your practice, if not both of them? See, Steph, I'm going to mute you out. C, how to properly nourish that Facebook group and that Facebook page. And even more important, D, how to set the Facebook group and Facebook page up so that it's ready to win. So that's chiropractic social media marketing. And Terry comes in with her awesome personality and teaches throughout the whole thing. The Northwestern Mutual, here's the thing. I remember graduating from chiropractic school. I remember the drive home from Sherman College. I was just about 30 years old. I had been in college for 12 years. I was now set out on to be on my own. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know who to start with. I didn't know what I was doing. And if somebody would have said, hey, Jody, here are all the financial systems that you need to think about as a new doctor in practice. Hey, Jody, here are all the marketing systems that you need to think about as a new doc in practice. And by the way, we're going to give you these systems in an affordable way so that it's easy to follow, so that it's streamlined in a program that's online and you pick and choose as you want. That's what Soup School is. And one of the most valuable things that we bring into Soup School is we teach you, our students, how to talk about money, how to ask for money, what to never do when it comes to talking about money. When you start getting money in your door because your practice is getting so busy, how do you manage that money? Do you save here? Do you give away here? Do you spend here? What about payroll? How does all of that work? All of that is content that was contributed from Northwestern Mutual. The people at Northwestern Mutual were awesome in Soup School. And then Dr. Barbara Eaton gives us some stuff on money stuff. And then, of course, Janice Hughes comes in and talks about, really, as a woman in practice, and if you're a man, you too, right? As a practice owner, how do you talk about your fees and what your value is without feeling like your face is beet red, or like the sky's gonna fall any minute and the person sitting in front of you is thinking that you're a fool? How do you ask for money in exchange for what you're giving to them? That's the money stuff. And then, of course, Cash Practice comes in. I love Cash Practice. They're one of the programs that I couldn't do practice without. And they come into Soup School and they teach us how to track how happy our practice members are. They teach us how to run automation with taking credit cards. And then, of course, Dr. Janice Hughes comes in and she teaches all about how to, when you're, I'm sorry, not Janice Hughes, Dr. Shaylin Osborne comes in with To Inspire Women, and she teaches about when you're ready for staff, because you will get to a point that you want to hire maybe a part-time person, maybe a full-time person, maybe a few years down the road. In my practice here in New Jersey, I have one woman that comes in like 5 hours a week and helps with billing, because honestly, I just don't want to do it. I feel like it creates a healthy boundary between me and my practice members to instill and lean on my practice systems, which are all things that we're going to give you, those practice systems. So when you're ready to hire staff, instead of being on the merry-go-round of hiring, training, firing, and I know that merry-go-round so well. Dr. Dr. Shaylin Osborne, I'm sorry guys, my coffee's still kicking in, is the #1 person to learn from when it comes to hiring and training staff. We're actually going to be doing a webinar in February on how to love yourself in practice, and she's going to talk all about that. So those are the moving pieces. Those are the content partners of Soup School, and we keep adding to the pot. I keep hearing different names because I've been out of the loop for a long time. I've been busy running a practice and raising kids. And when I came up with this idea, people kept reaching out to me and saying, hey, you got to have this person in Soup School. You can't do it without them. Hey, you got to have this person in Soup School. You can't do it without them. So I'm excited at the potential of all of the moving pieces. So let's just go over the courses for a few minutes. So I am a geek when it comes to all things website. This is a website that I built and I'm continuously adding to it. And what this page has on it, so if you're on my Staffless Practice website, it's right up here. If you go to courses, it's just going to run you through what our courses are. And here's what it looks like. Here are the nooks and crannies. So we start with the Superstar Toolkit. And one of the two questions that keep coming up. One is, 3 questions. Let me go over the 3 questions. One is this just for women? No, men are allowed in our playground too, as long as you don't mind being referred to here and there as sister and mama. We're not going to be exclusive. However, this is a program that was designed for women. 2, what if I'm not happy with it? Is there some kind of a guarantee? Yes, we do have a money back guarantee. The bottom line, I don't want to keep your money if you're not happy with our program. And 3, how long is this going to take me to get through? What if there's content in your program that's not relevant to where I'm at right now in practice? No problem, we got you. This is a your race, your pace kind of thing. So these are all of the courses involved with Soup School. We call them modules. And each course has a whole line of lessons involved. You can't skip around within the course to different lessons. You have to do them in order, but you can certainly pick and choose which course you're going to be focused on which month. All in all, we give you a recommended guide for when to click to the next lesson. All in all, it takes about 10 months to get through all of our content. With that being said, we're constantly updating our content and we keep you aware of what updates we just made in case you want to jump to that from where you're at now. Okay, so let's go through it. So the Superstar Toolkit, when I graduated chiropractic school, I was broken. I was financially broke. I was the heaviest I had ever been as an adult in my weight. I was smoking cigarettes. It was a lot. Chiropractic school wrung me out. It took everything I had to get through that process, everything. So when I was done with school, and in this now what do I do kind of thing, I needed tools to be put in my toolbox because the tools that I had for coping through graduate school would no way work for me running a successful practice. So that's where that's where my headspace was when we included what we included in the Superstar Toolkit. We're going to give you tools for time management, organization, figuring out who you are and how you show up in the world and what your message is, figuring out who you're not and how to get rid of the cobwebs, how to get rid of the things that keep you in your own way. That's the Superstar Toolkit, and it is invaluable. If you have these tools, if you move through the Superstar Toolkit and then build a healthy practice on top of that, because your practice is a reflection of who you are. I promise that's always true. Your practice is a reflection of who you are. Get your act together if before you get started with the marketing and all of that stuff. Learn who you are, learn what works for you, learn what doesn't work for you, learn what your personality style is. All of these things are really important and given to you in the Superstar Toolkit. The next is Checklist Haven. So now that we've got you to get your stuff in order, we want to get you really organized. What checklists do you need in practice? Do you want them handwritten? Do you want them on a computer? What do you need to do with a new client? What do you need to do with a client that's coming back after a long time? What do you need to do as far as having supplies in your office? What do you need to do to take care of your financial pictures? That's Checklist Haven. Probably my favorite of all of the modules. I keep saying that the different things are my favorite because I really love all of it. And I'll tell you, I'm a checklist person. Some people aren't a checklist person, but your staff members might be. Here's the deal. We usually hire people who are really good at what we're not really good at, ideally, right? You have people around you who can fill in the blanks of all things greatness for your picture. So if you don't love checklists, chances are your team members are going to love checklists, and you want to make sure that you have the healthy checklist to run a successful practice there for them at all times. Okay, communication station, how to take this thing and turn it into an office manager, how to use texting, and your voice message can become your best friend or your worst enemy in practice. If someone calls my office right now, they're going to be directed, depending on what they're looking for, to find their solution within seconds. I teach you how to do that in Communication Station, and I teach you what programs are available to you to learn how to do that. I also teach you effective ways of communicating with the people who are sitting in front of you. Russ Rosen comes in and teaches a lot about patient communication too, and as I said earlier, he's just phenomenal. That's Communication Station. SEWP Marketing Academy, or SMA. Here's what happened with this. So I'm a marketing geek, if you haven't figured that out. I love all things marketing. It totally floats my boat. When I was little, my grandmother was my person, and she ran a really successful company that is really worldwide known. And I used to watch her in the business office, and all of the papers and the files and the pens and I remember the typewriter, all of these things would totally float my boat. And I knew somehow I was going to teach people. I knew at an early age I was going to teach people how to do what she was doing because I loved it so much. And I felt like she had the keys to the queendom. And the SEWP Marketing Academy is exactly that. It's going to give you the keys to the queendom. So the SEWP Marketing Academy has probably more content partners show up in it than any other part of SEWP school. In the part one, we had to break it up into two parts because it became so content packed. Part one, we teach you the basics, the foundations. What's your mission statement? What's your vision statement? What's your statement of purpose? Who is your ideal client? How do you reach your ideal client? Who are your affiliate partners? Meaning, who are the people in the community who you want to make sure are in your circle? How do you nourish those relationships? So everything internal marketing and within relationships, that's what part one is about. Part two, hi, Jason, you just popped up on my screen. Part two is all digital. Now that you know what your brand is, now that you know what your purpose is, and you're really clear about the wordings to go along with that, the colors to go along with that, who you want to reach, who you want to talk to, now you go get them, Tiger, right? Now you go out there and you go to the Facebook groups and you go to the Instagram group pages, and you go to all the different social media streams and you get your message out there. That's the SEWP Marketing Academy part two. My favorite part of that is what Coach Ashley contributes from Attractwell. Phenomenal. And then again, Terry shows up from the chiropractic social media marketing and teaches us how to bring it all together on all things social media. It's so content packed, so valuable. Okay, let's go to the abundance-driven practice. The abundance-driven practice is all things money. It's how to talk about money, how to think about money, how to ask for money, what to never do when it comes to money, how to be compliant with your fees, how to know what to charge for your fees. That's another gift that Shaylin Osborne brings into Soup School. If you want to be an insurance taking practice, how to do that and not break the rules, how to make it so that your care is affordable to everybody who shows up, what bank accounts you need, how to create a savings or retirement account, how to create a retirement plan. These are all of the things that show up in the abundance driven practice. And then the happy client experience. How do you know how happy your practice members are? Do you have a system in place? How do you know how happy you are in your practice? Do you have a system in place? The happy client experience is going to give you all of the tools, tricks, and tips to ensuring that you are happy in your practice and the people you're serving are happy. I think my favorite part of the happy client experience is a lesson called sensational. The word sense and ational, the condition of being happy with the senses in practice. So we're going to talk about taste, touch, sound, sight, and smell. How do you make sure that all of your senses and all of your client senses are being served and catered to when they walk through your door, when you walk through your door? Because all of those things are things that we don't think about. There's nothing worse than going into a stale office and you don't know what their message is. You don't know who they're catering to. It might even smell. It might be cold. The face piece might be dirty. These are all things that we're going to make sure are not true for you, our superstar. Why SEWP? Staffless entrepreneurial women in practice. And our students, we call you guys superstars because that's what you are. The SEWP Candy Trunk is our last module or course, and it's all of the extra bits and pieces that didn't quite fit perfectly into another one of the modules, and we just keep adding to it, and it's a lot of fun. It's ended up being another one of my favorite courses. So those are all of the pieces of Soup School. I do want to talk a minute about our Facebook community, so I'm just going to stop my screen share. Okay, hi guys. Okay, here we go. So I'm actually just going to pin myself here. Hold on a sec. Like this stuff that I'm doing right now, I didn't know how to do a Zoom and put wording on my screen and then this is the perfect example of what we teach in Soup School. We teach you how to get the message out that you're doing a Zoom. Then we teach you how to do the Zoom, how to record the Zoom, how to turn the Zoom into a YouTube video, how to take that YouTube video and create a funnel for it, how to have a email campaign back up that funnel and support that funnel. And then once somebody reaches out to you and says, hey, yeah, I'm interested in your care, what you say to them, what you do with them, and then they come into your office, what you say with them, what you do with them, what you don't ever do with them, how you ask for your money, how you ask for feedback, how you ask for reviews. And then once they get to a certain point of care, how you make sure that they continue to be nourished even after they're the new shiny practice member. Do we lose sight of, I've been under chiropractic care for 30 years. I don't know when the last time my chiropractor sent me a message about how brilliant my spine is. I want you to make sure that no matter what your niche is, no matter what kind of practice you have, you never stop educating your practice members, because if we're not doing it, who's doing it? If you go onto my Facebook page this morning, I have 5,000 friends on Facebook. I posted a picture of me eating oatmeal, and I swear to you guys, this was not planned. And I want to be an inspiration. I want to be an example to the people, even if they can't stand me. And I know that there are going to be people who can't stand me. I want to give them an opportunity to learn from me. I'm not just going to make sure that they're happy with my practice and then forget about them. I continue to foster that relationship, and we teach you how to do that in Soup School. And then we teach you how to open your drawers, like get the drawers open and make sure what's in them needs to be in them, and that it's organized and that it's compliant, and that it is beautiful with color and branding that really resonates with you. Another thing that I'm learning a lot about is what resonates with you and your practice is going to be much different than what resonates with Jane Doe and her practice, or John Smith and his practice, because we're all coming from a different place in practice. So that's what we walk our superstar through. So the way that you can get in touch with me is you can go to, I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to share screen. You can go ahead and text me or message me on Facebook. Here's the deal. We have somewhat of a vetting process for our students. I don't want to let just anybody into school. I want to make sure that what you're looking for matches what we're offering. And I also want to make sure that your contribution to the community is going to be a plus and not a minus, if that makes sense to you. If it seems that what I'm offering and what you're looking for are a match, then I'm going to send you on your way to grab your seat in Soup School, and you could be in a matter of minutes. If it's not a match, chances are there's going to be another coach or another program within the profession that I can match you with, and I will certainly send you their way. I'm honest to a fault when it comes to things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up. If you're on Facebook watching, please let me know if you have any questions. If you're in the Zoom, you're welcome to go ahead and unmute yourself. If you are watching this, chances are you're already part of our superstar group on Facebook. It's Staffless Entrepreneurial Women in Practice. That's our group name. And there is a lot going on in that group. So every Tuesday, we have a program called Practice Practicals, where we have a weekly topic. Each week there's a topic. And every Tuesday morning, I go live with a topic, or I have a guest speaker come on with a topic. And then all throughout the week, I'm dripping you really great information regarding that topic. This week's topic is how to show up everywhere with your marketing. Last week's topic was the 4-part marketing program. And what you want to remember is that everything that we do, we save in our units section. So you can always go over to the unit section in our Facebook group and get anything if you've missed it. I'm trying to think of everything to keep all of you guys happy. Questions at all? Any questions, guys? Jason, Jane, Stephanie, you are my 3 one and onlys. Any questions for me today? If not, reach out to me. If you want to get started, I have about an hour. It's 11:30 a.m. my time before I have to play chess with my kid and then take them to Target. Crazy times being a mama and having my kids home and launching a huge program. So lots of fun, and I really appreciate you guys being on today. And as always, I am here if you need anything. And listen, the purpose of this is to give you the tools to go serve more people, because if you're serving more people and you're doing good work, the world's going to be a better place. And the more tools you have to go get them, Tiger, the more people you're going to serve and the more effect you're going to have on them. And I need that for my kids and my future grandkids. I know that you need that too. So I'm doing my very best to get the tools in front of you, and the ones that resonate with you, I want you to grab them. I want you to grab them fast, and I want you to run with them and just lean on our community if you have any questions about how to use them. Okay. Sending love, you guys. Thanks so much.